Hey there everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Rama, and in today's video, I'll be breaking into this week's deals and discounts for Grand Theft Auto Online. I'll be talking about the vehicles that are on sale, which ones are worth it, and which you should stay very far away from. But as usual, let's start off with the double money, which is the Acid Lab this week. That's actually really good. The Acid Lab itself is a fantastic business. It's one of the easiest to run because all you really need to do is call Mutt on the phone. It takes about half a second of scrolling through your contacts, and when he picks up, you can literally purchase your supplies. So as you can see, I can buy supplies for 36 grand. It's by far one of the easiest passive businesses. Even better than that is the fact that it cannot be rated. So essentially, all you need to do is call Mutt on the phone every hour or so, pay him, and then after about 2 hours, do a quick sale mission. I would highly recommend to participate in the Acid Lab. We also have some double and triple money on like adversary modes for Halloween, but like who cares? They don't really pay anything special. I mean, I guess if you want the RP, but you'll make just as much selling special cargo. Either way, let's break into the discounted vehicles and the free ones. Starting off, we have the Zaba. This is the podium vehicle this week. The Zaba's kind of cool. It's got some bulletproof glass, as we can see. It does break after about 26 rifle rounds, which I guess is okay. It can also survive 27 explosions from a homing rocket, and it can float in the water, which is kind of cool. To be honest, there's really nothing special about the Zaba. I mean, sure, it survives these explosions, but it's so dang slow. It has a top speed of like 60 miles an hour. So why would you ever want this when you can just buy a normal Insurgent for like 600 grand? I mean, I guess it's free, which isn't too bad, but it's just going to be a vehicle that takes up a garage slot that you're never going to dry. So, oh well. Spin the wheel, get it if you get it, and that's about all I can say. We have the Vindicator, which is an incredibly cool looking motorcycle, and it does actually feature regenerative braking, which is kind of sick. You can see that here, but unfortunately the speed boost doesn't really make you go all that fast. But yeah, whenever you apply the brakes, as you can see, it gets that speed boost, and then you can use that speed boost. It's really nothing special though. It's not a very fast motorcycle, only reaching a top speed of about 120 miles per hour. And, yeah, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, this is the same motorcycle used in the Pacific Standard Heist Getaway, and it's pretty dooky there, so obviously it's going to be pretty dooky in normal situations as well. I can't really say that it's worth it at all to try and get this for this week's prize ride, but that is the prize ride vehicle, so yay! Alright, well, after the two freebies, we arrive to the rest of the vehicles, which are all discounted. First of all, we have the Brickade 6x6, which I would highly recommend to buy if you don't have it already. First of all, it's 30% off, which is fantastic. It's already pretty cheap at like $850,000 base, so discounted, yeah, it's pretty dang cheap. But also, all the equipment upgrades and everything that you can purchase for this vehicle is 30% off this week. Now, some of you may have noticed Rockstar has decreased the amount that discounts are on. Previously, Rockstar used to make all discounts about 40%, but now they are only 30%. So do keep that in mind. We've seen that for a lot of businesses lately. I'm not sure if Rockstar is trying to test the waters and see if people aren't going to notice, but yeah, a couple months ago, you would have noticed businesses like the agency and, you know, the motorcycle club businesses and everything were 40% off, including upgrades, but they've dropped down a tier. Now they're 30% off. I mean, it's still a good discount, don't get me wrong, but it is a bit weird to see them changing those numbers around. The Brickade 6x6 is the second toughest vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online. It can literally survive like 50 explosions. Essentially, you're never ever going to be blown up while using this vehicle. Pair that into the fact it's fairly fast, and it's actually decent at off-roading. It's an insane vehicle. Also, this is where you house the Acid Lab, so you're obviously going to want to buy this to make money. My suggestion, pick up the Brickade. If you don't own it, you'd kind of be a fool, unless you have like a bajillion dollars, but at that point, you're probably not really doing much when it comes to the discounts this week. There is also a 30% discount on getting Mark II weapons this week, so if you want to get something like the Combat MG Mark II or the Bullpup Rifle Mark II, which are both fantastic weapons, this is the week to do so, and I would highly recommend that you do. Now we arrive to some of the other discounted vehicles, and honestly, this is the only one that I can say is actually worth it. I never know how to pronounce it. It's the Cincamila. That's how I'm pronouncing it. Somebody's going to tell me I'm stupid or something in the comments. But either way, this is a fantastic sedan. You wouldn't even think it is a sedan because it looks like a sports car, sounds like a sports car, and even drives like one. The vehicle's fast. It achieves a top speed of 121 miles per hour. And with that, it also has very good handling, making it the first place position for sedans. It's actually really impressive. So I would recommend to pick up this car. It's a four-door, it handles like a sports car, has fantastic upgrades and customization going for it. Just really the only downside is you can't use it in sports races. But, oh well, I really can't say that's much of a downside because, again, who does races in Grand Theft Auto Online nowadays? It's normally $1.7 million. This week you can get it at a 40% discount for $1 million. So, pretty decent deal in my opinion. Next up, we have the Bestia GTS, a vehicle I can't really say all too much about. This is not an incredibly fast car, nor is it incredibly good on lap time. I mean, it's pretty cheap. It's normally $600,000. You can get it this week for $430,000. So, I mean, you got that going for you. It doesn't really have any customization, though, which is really unfortunate. So, yeah, overall, I mean, the car looks okay. Frontally, I think it looks really nice, but it's kind of a weird rear design. It's almost like a SUV merged with a sports car. It's not bad, but it's definitely not my cup of tea. It's a cool car. It's obviously based off of a Ferrari. But I can't really recommend to pick it up. There's not much too good about it unless you want to add it to your car collection. Another pretty mediocre car hits the list, being the 8F Drafter. Now, I actually think this car looks really, really nice. It has some great livery options, it's got decent customization, and I am just a huge fan of Audis, and I think the front of this car, it just really resembles an Audi. The back of it's kind of hard to tell, also kind of looks like an Audi, but I don't know, I just really like the look of the 8F Drafter, one of the cooler looking cars in the game. It has okay handling for its top speed, but it's nothing special. This car is middle of the pack when it comes to sports car performance. So, yeah, that's about the best I can say. I mean, it's pretty cheap. It's normally only $720,000, and this week you can get it for $500,000. So, it's not like you're dropping a lot of money to get your hands on this vehicle, but that's for good reason. It really isn't a car anybody would drop a lot of money on. This one I can't say is a bad deal. If you're a newer player and you want to get a decent sports car that has cool customization and looks really nice, or you're just a player who wants to add this to your collection, I can't say it's actually a bad deal for how cheap it is. It sounds really cool. It does have good customization available, so it's not actually a bad deal. Just nothing special when it comes to performance. Next up, we have the only discounted sports classics this week, the Michelli GT. A vehicle that, again, isn't very impressive on its overall handling, but I will say, has fantastic customization. You can basically turn this into a rally vehicle. It's got super cool fog lights on the front. You can add some little mud flaps on the sides. It's got some spoiler options that are pretty cool. I actually think that this car has some amazing upgrade capabilities. Plus, it's actually pretty good on off-roading. I'm not sure if Rockstar intended this to be kind of like a sports classics rally vehicle, but it's not bad when it comes to grip or anything like that. But yeah, again, it's not good either. This vehicle is pretty mediocre on lap time, pretty middle of the road when it comes to the sports classics performance. So yeah, I can't say there's anything amazing about the car, but it is pretty cheap. Normally it's 1.2 mil. You can get it for $850,000 this week. So at the end of the day, I can't really say that it's a bad deal. I just can't say it's a good deal either. Again, if you want to add a sports car to your collection, pick it up. But for the average player, I really can't say to buy it. There's nothing unique about this vehicle. And we finish off the discounted cars this week with the Furore GT. I like the name of the car, and I think it looks really cool. If Rockstar revamped this vehicle, like they've done for, you know, the Turismo and the Zentorno, I think it would be epic, because right now what it's missing is customization. This is the car fully upgraded. I mean, you couldn't tell. It looks like a legit street car. In fact, in GTA Story Mode, it is a street car. I mean, it's cheap. It's normally $450,000, and this week you can buy it for $300,000, but, like, who cares? There's literally nothing about this vehicle that is unique. It's a really nice-looking car. I think it sounds amazing. As I said, it just needs customization. It needs livery options. It needs bumpers, splitters. It needs side skirts. It needs spoilers. It doesn't have any of these options. So if you like the way the car looks, I guess pick it up, but apart from that, don't buy it, because there's literally nothing going for it. It's not very good on overall performance either. I mean, its top speed isn't awful at 120, but the overall handling is pretty mediocre. So yeah, again, just not a vehicle I would recommend to buy. To finish off today's video, we have the removed vehicles that are making a comeback. We have the Felon and Felon GT. Both pretty average cars. I mean, that's your spoiler option right there for the Felon GT. It does have a little side skirt that you can put on it, but let's be real. This car basically has zero customization. Just don't buy it. I really can't recommend to. The Felon GT is the same story. It has basically zero customization. It's a street car. I don't even know why Rockstar even brought this thing back. The only one that I can actually say that you might think or, you know, might want to buy is the Brickade. It's a weird looking sports classics. Like, I'll be honest, it's not the nicest looking car. Surprisingly, this car actually has very good lap time for the sports classics category, ranked within the top 15. So it's actually not a bad vehicle, it's just not the nicest looking car. If you wanted to get it, and it is, as I said, removed coming back this week, then this is going to be your only chance before it's gone once again. So pick it up if you like it, but if you don't, yeah, I wouldn't recommend to get it, because there's really not much apart from the handling, and it's not the prettiest car to look at. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. This week was not a great one, not a bad one. It's a very mediocre week. The way of making money's good, I mean, but it's nothing crazy. The bunker earns just as much. So yeah, overall, I'll give this week a 5 out of 10. Hopefully you all enjoyed today's video. Please consider smashing that subscribe button down below if you did, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.